Let's talk one-on-ones, biannual performance reviews, and how you manage performance at your organization. You might hate meetings. They do matter though. Conversely, you should cancel any meetings that don't have agendas and that you're sitting in that are just useless. One-on-ones, conversely, as a leader, you gotta not be late for. You can't be rescheduling and canceling. Consistency is massively important as a leader. I can literally not think of a time I've rescheduled or canceled a one-on-one. Sometimes late to them because the previous one-on-one's running late, but then I'll just keep giving people more time. I try to never be late to anything, but I never also try to cancel one-on-ones before I've resolved any emotion that's occurred in that meeting. So at a high level, before we get into the specifics of like what we do at a company, my take on one-on-ones is you should always arrange your one-on-one agenda from least amount of emotion to most emotion. You can see some of our standards real quick, but like all one-on-ones are lattice notes. Managers and direct reports meet twice a month. You essentially need to actually fill out lattice so that we can track if one-on-ones are occurring. The bigger your company gets, what you're gonna find is people actually just cancel one-on-ones, don't hold them. I don't know why I need to do a one-on-one with Susie. We talk every day. Like me and Susie are good. There's a billion reasons why people don't do one-on-ones. That's not acceptable. So you want to make sure you can track them and make sure you're holding your team accountable. So they're actually having professional, disciplined, scheduled with agenda calls at least twice a month. Here's the template we use: status updates, roadblocks, personal check-in, what should I start, stop, keep doing, and then career development twice a trimester. So every other month, talk about their career. This is great. You can watch this, you can take this. Now, my context on this, what we were saying earlier, is you start with the least amount of emotion, then you finish with the most emotion when you design the topics of discussion for the agenda. I always ask for the person I'm doing the one-on-one with to send me their agenda 24 hours before. Conversely, the night before, I actually prep out all my notes, especially if I know going into the one-on-one, it's gonna be a difficult call. So I'll sit in the jacuzzi, the bathtub, my office, whatever I like, wherever I find my peace, and I'll actually prepare, this is the emotional response I want to have in the meeting. And I'll know if I'm going into an emotionally charged moment where I might lose self-control, I won't speak from the heart. Instead, I'll go back to the notes I prepared the previous night and I'll read those. This is my way of making sure I'm able to articulate my message in such a manner that the person that I'm meeting with can receive my message. What's much more important in life, it's less about being heard, and it's actually about your message being received, consumed, processed, and then brought back into the world in a way that creates productivity or value for your firm. In other words, you got to kill that ego and essentially allow for your team to be able to communicate back to you, freely express themselves, and you respond in a way that still gets you the outcome you want, which is hitting your goals and hitting your OKRs. From there, we do biannual performance reviews. So these are formal documentation moments every 6 months, and we do it based on start date. A lot of firms have middle of the year reviews and then end of year reviews, and everyone does their reviews at the same time. Finance loves that because it makes salary planning and raise planning happen for them in a very structured manner. I dislike it for a couple reasons. Number one, you take a cash hit pretty big in the moment. If you do all your raises at one time and you don't space them out, you literally hit all your cash absorption at once. And number two, you lose a ton of time and it makes your culture and your organization internally focused. At no time should your company be more focused on itself than its customers as an agency. And so I strategically avoid any type of company-wide moments that distract us for an extended period of time from serving our customers and make us very focused on ourselves. I don't really ever want that. Here's the question we use: self-review. What went well? What could have gone better? To what extent are you meeting your objectives? What skills or behaviors do you want to improve on the next 6 months? And then what values are you consistently embodying? So they do a self-review. Then essentially, before I do my review as a manager, I get all their upward reviews. I am managing someone. I have everyone they are managing leave an upward review on top of their self-review before I leave my downward review. I want to really see what gaps exist between their self-awareness, what they think they did well versus what their team thinks they do well. And then if I can catch those gaps, I want to figure out how to re-articulate the message in a different way from their direct reports so that they really do get multiple types of feedback through multiple ways of expression, so that information is truly consumed by them, and then they can essentially turn that into growth for themselves. Some of the questions we have their direct reports answer about them is, do they support their growth? Are they open to feedback? Are they clear with their feedback on performance? Are they empathetic? What should they start doing, stop doing, keep doing? These are all the things we have them report on the managers on. For me, what I'm looking at is, what went well? What could have gone better? How well did they hit their OKRs or KPIs? How well did they accomplish the expectations of their role? So this is also also where you can do like implied value. Someone you're not paying much and is junior, you're gonna have very different expectations of than someone who's very senior and you're investing a lot of time, money, and resources, not only into their personal compensation, but into their area of ownership. And then are they exemplifying company values? What do you want this person to get better at in the next 6 months? And then what's hidden from them, but that you state for HR, is if they're up for promotion as well. Last thing I'll give you is when it comes to money, we only talk money at your annual or if you're being promoted. So we do not talk money on your one-on-ones. We don't talk money every 6 months. We only talk money once a year, and being clear about that from the start in your onboarding with all new hires is great. And then it sets a very clear expectation of when we talk money, so you're not dealing with random money requests every 3 months from people. You got to stay disciplined, I think, to really organize when you talk about compensation at your organization. Hopefully this helps, and let me know if you have any questions in the comments below.